Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review. Bat for Lashes, The Haunted Man.
Bat flashes.
Bat for Lashes is an English singer-songwriter, Natasha Khan, and this is her third full-length LP. And over the course of her career, she's been known to bring her indie and art pop sensibilities together with electronics, acoustic instrumentation, and some pretty refined arrangements, along with a very theatrical presentation, an ultra-emotive voice, and a pretty 80s chic. And all of this stuff has gotten her a lot of praise and comparisons to people like Kate Bush, Bjork, Susie and the Banshees. However, I think more and more she's been working to kind of progress past those influences a little bit and come closer to something of her own. And while not completely realized in my opinion, I do think this LP is the closest she comes to that. After Khan's kind of skeletal debut album, she created the LP Two Sons, which is really like her most succinct LP, kind of hand-delivering a lot of very catchy hooks. And she kind of brought a plethora of different sounds in there too. Tracks on this LP would feel pretty dark and rootsy, like the song Sleep Alone, or could even be very synthetic and dreamy, like the single Daniel. This album brought Khan to a new level of popularity, and it's because she struck a really great balance between being artful and accessible, being tuneful and kind of strange. But still, the question comes up after a successful LP like this, where exactly do you go next? Would Khan just kind of get poppier? I think that would have pleased some fans and attracted more in the process, possibly, but I am happy to say that Khan and longtime co-producer David Costin really had ambition and curiosity get the better of them on this LP. For this album, Bat for Lashes brings on a much bigger array of guest musicians to make this LP happen, and co-producers, and it really shows up in the instrumentation on this album. There's just a wider array of sounds, and it adds to the element of mysticism that's always there in Bat for Lashes music in a big way. A lot like the intro and the verse on the track Horses in the Sun. They're very tribal drums on this track, spectral background vocals, some very weird acoustic timbres, murky, ominous hums, and there's a really twangy instrument in there too, maybe a hammered dulcimer, not sure. Definitely Khan has kind of taken it to the next level with sound. Her and Costin together with their co-producers do have a great appreciation for texture on these tracks, and they use that to really make this album a journey, make one song sound vastly different from another. However, I wouldn't really say Bat for Lashes has improved her songwriting game on this LP, really added that much detail to it or that much adventure to it. And I'm slightly let down by that because I did like what signs I was seeing of progression on this LP so far. And I do think that this poppier approach that Natasha uses on many of these tracks worked so much better when she was working with a more synthesized sound on Two Sons. And you know, I do get that it's art pop, it seems strange, it seems out there, but still underneath it all, it's still, you know, poppy music. And it's great that artists like Khan can make music that is adventurous without it also simultaneously being marginalizing, but I just don't think that she always reconciles these two sides of her personality all the time. Despite the extreme increase in production value on this LP, a lot of the drum machine sounds that Khan uses on this album feel kind of tinny, maybe a little cheap. In a way, I'm sure it's an intentional juxtaposition, but it just feels very awkward throughout many of these tracks, which instrumentally, especially with the arranged instrumentation, feel very smooth and swift and just effervescent. And the drum machines just really kill that vibe. However, I would say those moments aren't plentiful. It's not like that's most of the LP. There are songs on here like Winterfields, which start off with some very chilly woodwinds, grow into very triumphant strings, and while the vocal melody and the cadence of Khan's voice do say Bjork to me, very boldly. The passion and the great chord progression in the song, I mean, is definitely there. The pit orchestra percussion and the very subtle 4/4 beat in the background of that song, I mean, sound fantastic as well. The song Laura, another favorite of mine on this LP, feels a lot like a very somber piano ballad that would sit nicely in the midst of like a glam rock album or something like that. The hook melody is great. I love the way it just flourishes. The verses are nice and just dark and moody, but just the very high level of just drama and instrumental ambition on this track just makes me wish the song built into so much more. I mean, a lovely, heavy climax at the end of that tune would have been great. To me, to not use this instrumentation to really build the song into another direction is kind of a missed opportunity. The song Oh Yeah could have had a much better chorus with better lyrics as well. And the track AWOL feels a bit out of place in that it just kind of feels like a track from Two Sons. One of the only tracks on this LP where I feel like Khan kind of threw a left hook was on the title track, where there's this surprise group of male vocals singing together in unison. Natasha Khan's vocals just kind of fly in a very just loud, passionate display. It's ear-grabbing, and she's singing against what sounds like a very glistening combination of synths and strings. All of this militaristic instrumentation grows underneath this, and it's very tight, it's very rich, it's very melodic. Kind of reminds me of some of the better moments off After Klang's Parades. That track to me is big. That track to me is lovely. That's not really a feeling I get on this album again until the very spacious closing track. I thought most of the songs on here were very good. I love the vocals, the production, the instrumentation. Certainly Khan wears her influences on her sleeve, but to me that's alright on this album. The bigger issue to me is that the songwriting could have definitely been bigger, more ambitious. And that's all I gotta say. I really liked what I heard on here for the most part. I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this LP. What did you think of it? If you've given it a listen, did you love it, hate it? Why? What should I review next? Thanks for watching. Anthony Fantano, Bad for Lashes, forever.